Now we're going to sharpen. I'll do them at 5/8, but good note, just make sure your diamond tip has a good point to it still. Always rub it against my finger here, make sure it still digs in a little bit. Obviously if it was rounded off too much, just throw a new one in. I just go until I have a consistent sound throughout the whole dress there. Try to keep the same speed over the whole face of the wheel. Clean off all these numbers and stuff. And now again, I usually count the number of passes I do on each skate, trying to keep it as consistent as possible. I go to toe to heel just because that's what I feel comfortable with. I try to go as light as possible on the toe and heel and keeping the blade as flat as possible. I got all my cross grind marks off. I'll make sure my blade is level. A little off in the heel here, so I'll just adjust that one. I'm ready for my final pass. I like to use blade glaze, that's what I'm comfortable with. There's many other options, wax, oils you can use to your final pass. I just find that this keeps the wheel cleaner over time. I'm just going to stone it here. I like to keep my stones as clean as possible. I always clean them off with that blade glaze before I sharpen. You can see how much steel I've already worn onto the stone because it's new blade. So I stone new steel really good. You can see in here how you're getting these marks on the side. So over time, you'll have a whole new surface to your blade because you've ground off the surface layer and got it perfectly smooth. And that's going to help create a cleaner side edge as well. And then that's got a nice smooth finish on both sides. So that blade is done. You can go steps further into it using different steps at the end. This is just for a quick reference on sharpening, so you know. You can use leather pads, you can use some other finishing solutions there as well, like that's from other manufacturers as well. So now we'll move on to the next blade here. And again, keep a note of how many you counted there on the first blade so you can get within that similar number on the second blade, of number of passes that you've done. Try to keep your passes as consistent as possible. Same speed at your toe and your heel and your center. It's level, so I'll just do one more pass since I took it out of the holder. Nice even final pass. And you're trying to keep your wheel marks consistent throughout the whole blade, making sure that not looking like you're speeding up in a spot and slowing down in a spot. It has a nice finish to it too. Normally next I would take a leather pad to it with some blade glaze and clean that up a little bit. But again, everybody has their own preferences on if they want to take the sharpening to the next step. So these are ready to go.